light off fireworks tonight, too. Give the fans who went down there something to feel good about, something to cheer about, something to feel happy about. Not going to spend too much time on it, but that's not good. No, we got some bad things going on in Foxborough right now. Holy crap, are they bad? They've lost 9 in a row, Skaz. 9 in a row? Is that right?
A couple ties in there, but yes, they may go winless in June and July.
They are going to go winless in June and July.
That's right.
Don't play for 2 weeks.
Done. You did not win a game in 2 months.
2 months, winless. So they got 14 days off, huh? That feels like a time where a coach gets fired. That's the way that goes down. I'm not going to sit here and claim to be an MLS expert. I'm not. But I do like soccer. I do like MLS, and I do like sports, and I do cover sports. I've seen this story before. 14 days off, team spiraling out of control, winless in 2 months. That's a coach who might get fired. That's the way that goes.
It would kind of be a shock if he's not fired. How are you selling this guy to the fans right now? If you're the Revs, front office, if you're anybody in charge over there, how are you still a believer in the Caleb Porter experience? I know we have him on the station, nice enough guy. I've never met him, never talked
Caleb.
to him. So
great. Hung out with him at ACDC. The Revs are winless since Caleb Porter and I hung out together at ACDC.
There you go.
Blame me.
The ACDC curse, but it's not working. His tactics aren't working. You're supposed to be defensive stalwarts. Use 3-1 to the worst team in the league. Montreal is awful. They're not just bad. They're terrible. And the Revs are now becoming comically bad. Like, the talent on the Revs roster, no, it's not a ton of talent, but Carlos Heel, Campana, like, they have guys. Peyton Miller's, going to be playing in the Premier League. Everybody's telling us, we had Taylor Twellman on. He's telling us this kid's a stud, Feingold, a young player they paid a decent amount for. At some point, it's on the manager. It's the MLS, folks. Yeah. It's the MLS. Like, if you have 4 or 5 guys that are, somewhat competent, you should not be losing to Montreal at home. It's embarrassing.
It's, as we mentioned with Messi a few weeks ago, that was the GOAT versus GOAT farmers. That's still what MLS is. I know the league's gotten better. It's probably a top 10 league in the world at this point, but let's be real. Let's call a spade a spade. I mean, this is not good enough. But I will just say this, Gaz, before we get to your thoughts at 617-779-0985. And we'll get to the Red Sox here later on in the program. Patriots training camp thoughts on a day where the Pats didn't really do anything at camp, but we'll look back at the first 3 days of camp because it feels to me like the Pats are off to a good start and everything is very disciplined and fundamental down there, which is good news. Coming off of last year and the way that the Gerard Mayo experience went. We'll get into all of that. But the issues run deeper than the manager. They do. I have followed Revs soccer long enough. I have covered the Revs long enough to be able to tell you that the issues run deeper than the manager, and they always have. And they always will. Unless something changes. Let's call it what it is. This doesn't change. The Revs' history, Skaz, is the history of a team that has good players, that go on to play in Europe, that, they bubble up every once in a while. And this is not the, going to 4 straight MLS Cups back in the 2000s. Like, really, for the last 15 years at this point, 10 years, over the last decade, the experience of the Revs has been develop good players, have a good season here or there, but for the most part, it's this. They've had multiple managers. They've had multiple good managers. Bruce Arena. Caleb Porter has had plenty of success elsewhere in MLS. Like, in the end, he's a good manager, but the thing doesn't work here. So it goes beyond the manager. 14 days off, I get it. We've all seen it before. This is where managers get fired. This is the way sports works. I'd be shocked if he's back, based on what you're saying, Skaz, but let's call a spade a spade. Things run deeper than the manager down there. They do.
Yeah, it's tough to argue with that. I don't even know how you do when you look at the history of the Revs, but this from Andy Judd, who's over at Blazing Musket. They do a good job on all things Revs. The Revs have played 28 home matches since the start of 2024. 28. Would you like to guess how many times the Revs have won at home in those 28 matches?
Since 2024?
Yep, since the start of 2024.
I think I just heard they've won twice this year at home. I'm going to say 5 times at home.
They have won 7 of their 28 home matches since the start of 2024. That is 25%. Woof.
I'm not good at math, Skaz, but that's bad math. That's bad math right there.
Bad math.
Hey, I see you in the phone lines. We'll take care of you. If you're coming home from the Revs game, we'll mix your thoughts in, so hang tight. 617-779-0985. We do need to hit a break. Matt McCarthy in for Joe Murray. We'll get into the Red Sox. We're wrapping up as well. Patriots, anything you want until 11 o'clock. It's a Friday night. It's one of those nights. We're here, hanging out with you. Skaz is here. It's McTakey in for Joe.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub. Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox second half struggles continue. It just went final at Fenway Park. They fall to the Dodgers 5-2 tonight. Earlier today, Marcelo Meyer went on the 10-day injured list. David Hamilton called up from Worcester. Fenway Park concession workers also launching a strike before tonight's game as they were unable to come to an agreement with the ballpark's concession company, Aramark. MLB trading deadline just a week away. Yankees acquiring third baseman Ryan McMahon from the Rockies today. Mets traded for left-handed reliever Gregory Soto from the Orioles. Revolution lost to Montreal 3-1 tonight. They are now winless in their last 9 games. That dates back to May. Patriots held training camp practice earlier today in Foxborough. It was just a walkthrough. Pats head coach Mike Vrabel also said the team will have a conversation about signing recently released defensive tackle Christian Wilkins, who was let go by the Vegas Raiders just about a year after signing a 4-year, $110 million contract. Vikings receiver Justin Jefferson undergoing an MRI. He'll be reevaluated next week due to a right hamstring strain. Headlines are brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning. With over 50 trucks on the road because your clogged drain is their emergency, go to johnsewer.com. I'm Matt McCarthy on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update in 30 minutes.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 985sportshub.com.
Guys, I think we're on the verge of a sports talk radio double play. We have pissed off Revs fans on the board. We're going to have pissed off Red Sox fans on the board in the second because the Red Sox just lost to the Dodgers 5-2, and really an anemic, pathetic showing for the Red Sox lineup tonight. Some bad decisions from Alex Cora that ultimately cost this team late in the game, and they continue to play very questionable baseball coming out of the break. Shocker, by the way, that good competition is getting to the Red Sox and not the garbage of the National League in the Rockies and the Nationals and the Rays, who are not very good at baseball either. Red Sox playing good teams, and all of a sudden it's starting to not look so good. So we'll get into all of that at 617-779-0985. It's Matt McCarthy in for Joe Murray. There's a ton I want to break down with this Red Sox game. We will get to that momentarily, but you're on the line. Guys, I obey the people, don't I? I take care of the people. Am I good to the people?
The best.
Nobody better. Thank you. Glad you recognize that. You can call me a hero if you want. Would you like to?
No.
Okay, thanks. Riley in the car. Riley.
McCarthy, I appreciate you taking a ref's call. First of all, I'll start off with the fact that I think you guys are both right, that this was the kind of tipping point for Caleb Porter. He obviously needs to go. When you're facing one of the bottom teams in the Eastern Conference at home and what is a must-win game for you, you haven't won 8 in a row, and you can't get it done, you lose in embarrassing fashion, you need to go. The second thing, you guys have already hit on it, is that, it goes beyond coaching. You're definitely right. Ownership is a complete joke. They treat this team like they're the red-headed stepchild, bastard child.
All right, I got to let you go on that, Riley. Thank you. How about James leaving Gillette? James.
Hi, guys. I'm obviously like the last caller. This goes beyond the coach. This is Bolello. This is Onalfo. This is the Crafts. They need to sell the team. Like, I don't know where the money has gone from the sales of Buchanan, Petrovic, and Turner. Did they go to the new Lighthouse? Because they sure as heck haven't gone to the team.
That's the business model. And if you're calling in saying the Crafts need to sell the team, they're never going to sell the team. You know how many calls I get about the Red Sox? Well, John Henry needs to sell the Red Sox. He's never going to do it. Ever. So I get it. I get your frustrations. You have every right as a Revs fan to say, where did that money go? But that is the Revs business model. You develop players, you sell them internationally. And that's MLS's business model and all that. So that doesn't make the Revs different on that. But it's the same thing over and over again. So I hear you on that, and you have every right to be frustrated as a Revs fan, and the coach needs to go, and the organization needs an overhaul. Agreed. Jack in the car. Jack.
Hey, guys. I've been a season ticket holder for 6 years, and this just really feels like a rock-bottom moment for the Revs. We saw the days with Bruce Arena. We saw us win a Supporters' Shield back in 2021, best team in MLS. And like the previous callers, I just don't know where this money's going. I got to zero in on how you have Buchanan, you have Matt Turner, Petrovic, all those guys. Where does this money go? It goes towards someone like Luca Langoni, club record signing, $7 million. Guys, he's got one goal this whole season. It's not good enough. Porter's got to go. Thank you.
Is that on Porter? Is that on an Alfo? Can you break that down a little bit more for me, Skaz? I mean, that's an organizational issue there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes both ways. I mean, not to cross sports, but this is, Alex Cora was supposed to be in charge of Alex Bregman, right? Yep. And he should have been the guy that communicated Bregman endeavors and kind of mediated that whole thing. Mm-hmm. Now, the Revs don't have the talent of, Bregman endeavors, but when the front office is bringing in a guy like Langoni, like he mentioned, $7 million, it's on Porter to figure out his, where best to put him. Right. And Caleb Porter is a defensive-minded guy. That's what he's praised, even though they just gave up 3 goals to Montreal. So I get it. I think, the caller right there that mentions Langoni and the caller before that where, we had Taylor Twellman on, and I kind of expressed some of that same sentiment where it's like the Revs have become kind of a stepping stone. And you think of that as a negative term with a negative connotation, but in the MLS and in soccer at times, becoming a good stepping stone is a great place to be.
No doubt about it.
Because you build this relationship with Premier League teams or, teams in, whatever league it is, Serie A, whatever you want it to be. But guys like Buchanan, Petrovic, Matt Turner, like the Revs have had legit talent on this roster. Peyton Miller's probably going to be one of those guys. The only way you can sell being a stepping stone to your fans is if you're turning around with that money and investing it correctly in younger talent that is going to play well for you, and then you can sell for a higher price tag. When you're paying $7 million for a guy that scores 1 goal, that's benefiting nobody. That's not helping your future or your present. So who is it more to blame? If a guy has 1 goal and you're paying $7 million for him, it's probably on, that's a bad signing. But Caleb Porter absolutely deserves blame too. He's not putting his guys in the best position to win.
The organization's a mess. They're a mess, and frankly, they've been a mess for quite some time. Wes in the car. Hey, Wes.
Hey, what's going on, guys? First time, long time. Appreciate you taking the call. Rev season ticket holder. I'm not here to bash a team. We're also a season ticket holder for the Patriots. I think the Revs do a great job as far as family, ticketing, getting everybody involved. But what's being put on the field just needs to change, and I think it's the coach, right? Because against Miami, we had an opportunity to win that game 3-2. We didn't. Tonight, they controlled the ball, Montreal, but we actually should have won that game. We had the opportunity. So, yeah, more expensive talent's going to play better, but I put on the coach not getting enough out of who's on the field and who we have.
Well, I think the coach is going to go. I don't know how the coach doesn't go. So you might get your wish in that regard. And again, as you said, Skaz, what type of message does it send to the fans? You got a 9-game winless streak. You haven't won since May. You haven't won since McCarthy and Caleb Porter were hanging out at AC/DC. So sorry about that. I put some type of hex on the thing. That's the McCarthy, the real cooler. I am the Adrian Gonzalez of everything, the Adrian Gonzalez of life. So sorry about that, but yeah, it's got to happen, man. It's got to happen. It probably will happen. So there you go. Couple thoughts on the Revs, and they are as much a mess, as big a mess as you possibly can imagine right now. Winless in their last 9. 9 times. 9. 617-779-0985. Hey, speaking of messes, if you're leaving Fenway Park, sitting out there on a sticky, humid night, how do you feel about this Red Sox team right now? How do you feel about this Red Sox lineup? How do you feel about the way the Red Sox have played since the All-Star break? Because it has not been good. Am I surprised by this? No, of course I'm not surprised by this. Not one bit. I came in here on Monday, Skaz. I came in here on Monday and I said, It's not over yet. They salvaged the series in Chicago, and I'm just telling you, it's going to get ugly over the next week. And what has it been? Ugly. It's been ugly. Is it going to tank them? No. They're not going to collapse. They are better than they have been in years past. A guy like Garrett Crochet who goes tomorrow and gives you a decided pitching advantage, even on a night where Kershaw's pitching. Kershaw's not the same as he once was, but man, I wish I could go to that game. That's a pitching matchup tomorrow night at Fenway Park. But because you have a guy like Crochet, he stabilizes it. You have a bad night tonight at the ballpark, and you're like, all right, well, we have our ace on the mound tomorrow. We'll get him tomorrow. And recently, for the most part, the Red Sox do get him on days where Garrett Crochet pitches. But I think it's one of those things where both things can be true, Skaz. This team has a lot of issues. They have a lot of problems. They're showing up over the course of this past week where they're playing better competition. The Dodgers are a better baseball team than the Red Sox. Better managed, too. The Phillies are a better baseball team than the Red Sox. Better managed, too. The Cubs are a better baseball team than the Red Sox. Better managed, too. You're seeing that. It's coming up. It is rearing its ugly head. They're making stupid mistakes. They don't know catcher's interference. They don't know that you can't move in front of home plate on a straight steal of home. You can't do that. You've got Rob Refsnyder the other night throwing home to try to get the fourth out of an inning. Like, again, this dumbass Red Sox team. They show you their flaws every single night. But in the end, the American League is not very good. It's not very good, and they probably have just enough. But make no mistake about it. They've got holes and they've got problems. Like, both of those things are true. They've got a lot of problems, and I still think they'll be okay, just okay enough in the end to make the playoffs. But the lineup sucks. It blows. It's awful. It's terrible. They have been anemic since the All-Star break. And I've got some stats for you. I'm not Stat Masterson over here, but I've got some stats, Skaz, that you're not going to like. Bad math, theme of the program tonight. Winless in your last 9 games if you're the Revs, bad math. Red Sox lineup since the break, bad math. Really ugly math.
You see that Connor Wong double tonight, though?
Did that just play up on the screen?
Connor Wong. Extra base hit.
Is that his first of the year?
Start the duck boats, baby.
No, I'm serious. Is that his first extra base hit of the year?
It very well might be.
He is terrible at baseball. There's no other way to say it. Not good behind the plate. We saw that again tonight. Let's see. Connor Wong, he has 13 hits this year. I bet you that was his first extra base hit. Entering tonight, 13 hits, no doubles, no triples, no home run. Connor Wong, baby, against his former team, July 25th, 2025. Connor Wong, 1 RBI and now 1 extra base hit. It's happened. It's finally happened. He might be having one of the worst offensive seasons I've ever seen in my life. Entering tonight, batting a .144 with an OPS. This guy has an OPS, not an OBP, an OPS of 372.
I didn't know that was possible.
It might have honestly doubled after hitting a double tonight.
Oh my, that is shocking.
That is as bad as it gets. That is putrid. That's some bad math right there. I don't like that math one bit. Let me see if I can find this. The updated box score tonight of Connor Wong. MLB changed their website. This thing sucks. I'll get it for you. I have Matt Math coming your way on Connor Wong and Matt Math coming your way on the Red Sox anemic offense because we got some problems here. There are some issues. And with the trading deadline approaching next week, the Red Sox have a maybe not so sneaky need that we haven't been dedicating enough time to. We'll get into that with your thoughts. 617-779-0985. If you're coming home from Fenway, we got you tonight. If you're coming home from Gillette, we got you tonight too. It's McCarthy in for Joe Murray. Phone calls until 11 o'clock. Why not? Here on the Joe Show. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
lineup makes me want to drink. And the problem is you can't drink now at Fenway, right? Because the concession workers are on strike. Does that apply to everybody? Is it just the hawkers, Skaz? Like the people who go up and down offering the beer? Like, were there concessions anywhere tonight at Fenway Park? That I don't know.
I have no idea. Maybe, hopefully someone will call in and educate us. I have no idea.
Imagine sitting through this lineup and not being able to consume something that maybe eases the pain a little bit. They suck. The lineup sucks. The lineup sucks.
Yeah, you need some liquid something to get through that.
Trevor Story is your cleanup hitter. It's not good enough. It's going to be a problem. Skaz, Matt stats. Never good. Never good when I start giving you numbers. That's not what you're looking for. Red Sox since the All-Star break. Dead last in baseball in batting average. Red Sox since the All-Star break. 29th in the game in runs scored. And think about it. They've had 2 big outbursts. The 2 games they won were games that they had big offensive outbursts. It's 6 runs in Philadelphia, and then 6 runs in Chicago, and then they won 9-8 the other night. It was 9-8, 8-7, something like that. I mean, there were 2 games where they put up a very, very respectable number of runs. And in the 5 of the other 7 games, they've been anemic. They've been pathetic. They've been inept. They've been impotent. An impotent offense. They got to call Northeast Men's Health, Skaz. It's a problem. We got a problem here. Got an issue. I saw you look up and see if we were in the safe harbor.
That's not what I was looking at. Did you see who threw out the first pitch tonight?
Johnny Gomes.
Yes, that's what caught my attention. I was seeing it here, and I had to take a peek at the TV that's in the studio. We're doing that still, and that's why you lost tonight. Can't help.
Don't tell me what his war is. He's the kind of guy you want to go to war with. I don't know if you've heard about that. What a time and a place, by the way. When you really think about it, the Johnny Gomes experience. And then next year when it collapsed, they couldn't get that guy out of here fast enough. He's the type of guy you want on a team that's winning. He's not the type of guy you want on a team that's losing, because it's like, this guy's a pain in the ass. It's a little too much.
Yeah. I think that's putting it nicely.
But totally a front-running kind of guy, like front-running culture guy. When things are going great, you want that guy there. But also, when he says you want to go to war with, theoretically, Skaz, the crap is going to hit the fan at some point. You're going to be stuck in a tough situation. I don't know if I want Johnny Gomes in that spot. But he's the first guy who's going to fight you in the supermarket. So maybe you do need that kind of crazy next to you in the foxhole.
Would Johnny Gomes be good or bad for this Red Sox team?
He would. Oh, that's a good one, because they're not good, but they're not bad. They're just there. I feel like they're 2 players away from really benefiting from a Johnny Gomes type. They're a number 2 starter and a cleanup hitter away from really actually being able to take advantage of the Johnny Gomes of the world.
Not like those are critical pieces to a roster.
We've been talking about the number 2 starter, and rightfully so. We need to start talking about how this team does not have a cleanup hitter. They don't. Trevor Story is not a cleanup hitter, folks. Sorry. He's not. He's a 7 hitter. He's the type of guy who's going to get hot, and you can maybe bump him up to 6th while he's red hot, and he has not been. I'm telling you, keep an eye on him post All-Star break. He's going to do what Trevor Story has done. They don't have enough impact hitters. And we knew this. When they traded Devers, that was never, ever going to be replaceable. You do not replace that overnight. As much as we all love Roman Anthony, and we do, and we should, Roman Anthony's batting 3rd for this team. Bregman is not the same. He's gutting through it, and he's still trying to help the team. But he came back early, and at the plate, he hasn't been the same player. He looked pretty good in the field tonight. He made 2 really, really nice plays. He's an important guy. He's a glue guy, but it's not enough. They don't have enough. They need a big power hitter in the middle of that lineup, and they don't have it. And chances are that's not going to be available unless you trade for Eugenio Suarez from the Diamondbacks, who is going to be the biggest bat, who's probably going to move here at this deadline. We'll see if Arizona truly does go that way. And, you read from Chris Cotillo last week, the Red Sox are not interested in a third baseman, and that's what Suarez is. I'd still call. I'd see what the price is. If you add a hitter like Suarez to this lineup, things change. You're not doing this. Since the All-Star break, 186 team average. I got to back up here on Nesson so I can find this. These are good stats. Let's see. Red Sox are 2-5. They're batting 186 with, come on, Xfinity, here we go. A -10 run differential. Their starter ERA is 5.11. That feels high. It feels like they've pitched better than that. Now, they've had a couple of rough starts. Bullpen ERA has been good, except it wasn't tonight with Alcala, and we'll get into that decision-making in a second. But the Red Sox lineup is not good enough. We all understand it. Suarez has never played first base, but he's played third base his whole life. Actually, when I saw him in Erie, he was a second baseman. He's an infielder. He's 5'11". He's not Masataka Yoshida listed at 5'8". He could probably play first. I'd make the call. And Jarren Duran feels like the type of player who is sellable to Arizona. Under team control, I was reading today, even though they traded Naylor, they're not 100% committed to the idea that they're totally out of it yet, which is crazy talk, but maybe sometimes take advantage of the crazy talk. You go to Arizona and you offer them a controllable piece for a rental. And you might say, McCarthy, why would you give up Jarren Duran for a rental? That doesn't make sense. You're giving up on his value. I value the present. And if that prevents you from giving up much more in the way of prospects, wouldn't you trade a surplus of outfielders for an infielder, a power hitter that you don't have? Is your team better if you trade Jarren Duran and Suarez comes back? Totally understanding that this is probably a pipe dream, because I don't know if the Red Sox are bold enough or smart enough to call up Suarez and see if he's willing to play first base. But I'd be willing to give it a shot, because he's the only guy out there with this type of impact. And you watch this team and you say they need an impact middle of the order, big bat in the middle of the lineup. The guy has 36 home runs this year. Feels like he'd be the type of guy who would hit at Fenway Park. Big, power-hitting, righty, middle-of-the-lineup type of bat. You got to make the call. It's a bigger need than we've been perhaps discussing in recent weeks. We're focusing on the starting pitching, and rightfully so. I'm telling you, Duran feels like a good fit for Arizona. Make the call. They need somebody like this, even if it's not a perfect positional fit. You're willing to do it with Schwarber. I guarantee you Suarez has a way better chance to play first base than Schwarber. And boy, don't you wish you had him. 617-779-0985. How about Noah in Kansas City? Hey, Noah.
Yeah, hey, Matt. Yeah, I just wanted to call in, just kind of, I think the Red Sox and Revolution are very much similar in a sense of they're able to, the Red Sox beat up bad teams all the time. Same thing with the Revolution. And, not tonight, but usually that's the case. But the Red Sox, I agree with you. They're the similarities between the two teams is where, they have offense sometimes, but it's, they still are one or two pieces away, serious pieces away from being that legit team.
Yeah, I'm not convinced, Noah, and I'll let you go on that. Thank you for the call. I'm not convinced the Red Sox have the offense. I mean, look at it. Legitimately. Look at the lineup tonight and tell me you feel good about it. Let's pull it up here. Scrolling, because I did not memorize this off the top of my head. Is this lineup good enough, Skaz? Duran, Bregman, Anthony, Story, Yoshida, Rafaela, Abreu, Toro, Wong.
No,
not even close.
There's not enough protection for the young guys.
Yep, great point.
Pitchers go after him. Like you see Anthony, and look, he's going to be great. All the metrics, everything, he's going to be a very, very good player. I think everybody believes that. But you see pitchers they go right after him. They know he's young. They know there's not a lot in the order to protect him. Nobody's afraid of Trevor Story anymore. I know he had a hot couple of weeks, but he seems to be coming back down to earth. And so That's where you're at. They don't have a power bat to protect really anybody in the lineup right now.
You need it. You need it. So add that to the list. Starting pitcher, listen, I'll always take the starting pitcher over a bat. That's just the way it is. But the big middle of the order bat is right up there. It's 1 and 1A. Because you are setting, it's a good point by Skaz, you are setting Anthony up to fail if Trevor Story is his protection in the lineup. It's not good enough. And the problem is, they don't want to go too many, lefty-lefty. I get that because it makes it too easy for managers to match up. Duran can't hit lefties. He's your leadoff hitter. Anthony does hit lefties, but he's young, so you don't want to set up a situation where you're going Duran, Bregman, Anthony, Abreu. Because all of a sudden you then need to potentially pinch hit for Duran because he can't hit lefties, and you need to pinch hit for Abreu because Cora always pinch hits for Abreu. So what you're doing every single night, if you were to put Abreu, who's your fourth best hitter, if you were to put him behind Anthony, you are setting yourself up for failure and you're setting the opposing manager up for success. So they can't do that because they don't have a real legitimate middle of the order bat. It's one thing if you have Rafael Devers in the middle of that and you can go out of your first 4 lefties because Devers hits lefties and righties and Anthony hits lefties and righties. But Duran and Abreu don't. So you got some limitations for sure. They need the big bat. And it's time to actually legitimately start talking about what it would take to get Suarez, if they should be willing to get Suarez, because he's the only hitter out there right now who I would say has that type of thing. I mean, O'Hearn's had a good year. You might have to pay even a little bit more in division. But that's the type of thing. I mean, O'Hearn has 12 home runs. Not good enough. Not good enough. 617-779-0985. I see on the phone. We'll take care of you. One open line. Grab it on anything you want. Quick update. We continue. It's McCarthy in for Joe Murray tonight.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, Red Sox lose again. They're now 2-5 since the All-Star break. They lost to the Dodgers 5-2 at Fenway Park tonight. Marcelo Meyer placed on the 10-day injured list with a right wrist sprain. David
I think today was us. We had the first and second, one out. We didn't cash in, but we had 30-something pitches, and then the next inning it was a quick one, so we got back to the game. Then Alex gets a double, and then we ran into 2 outs, right? So it was more us tonight than them, but even at nights like that, there's still good pressure on them throughout the evening, but it wasn't enough.
How hard has it been to play from behind so often in the last week?
It's always hard. It happened earlier in the season, but I think we keep grinding and we keep putting good at bats. We were right back in the game, and then Teoscar, hit that ball out of the ballpark. But I think overall, we didn't win the game, but it wasn't bad, to be honest with you.
Well, as Alex Cora said, Teoscar hit the ball out of the ballpark, but hey, tonight wasn't all that bad, to be honest. Okay, I mean, can I get on board with the general idea of that? Yes, but you're 2-5 since the All-Star break against better competition, so I fully acknowledge that. But at some point, you have to start saying that you're not as good as everybody else. And hey, listen, I think Cora knows that. I think he understands that, but this lineup, man, it's a problem. We'll get to your thoughts. It's Matt McCarthy in for Joe Murray, but I think Alex Cora had the biggest mistake of the night. On a night where the Red Sox were not scoring a lot of runs, but they were still in the game, they went to Jorge Alcala in the 8th inning against Teoscar Hernandez, or for the 8th inning in general. And it burned them. Now, I've had plenty of people on Twitter who have mentioned to me that Alcala's been really good since he's come to the Red Sox. But the Red Sox do not use him at all in high-leverage situations, and I think we understand why. His last 6 appearances leading up to tonight, in the 11th inning, in the 9th inning up 5 runs, in the 9th inning down 3 runs, against the Rays in the 2nd inning after Dobbins got hurt, against Colorado up 5 runs, against Colorado in the 9th inning up 6 runs. So all of a sudden tonight, and I shudder to call it a high leverage situation, because a high leverage situation would be if you're tied or you're leading, and they were not. But man, 1-run game, that does not feel like the type of game that you should be punting, especially given you had a day off yesterday. Your bullpen is fresh, and I know you have a big weekend coming up. I get it. I understand it. But against a team of this quality, if you play that game against the Dodgers, they are going to burn you. And they did burn them. They did. Red Sox put 2 men on in the 9th. You never know if it's different if it's a 1-run game compared to a 3-run game. Not to mention, too, Ref Snyder and Gonzalez were hitting in the 9th inning after Cora pinch hit, both of them in the 7th inning against a lefty. So that's also a bit of a second guess. I don't have as much of an issue with that. But going to Alcala tonight was a bad move. It was a bad move, and it was Cora waving the white flag. He was totally content losing this game tonight, and you heard him after the game. Everything's fine. Which makes a little bit of sense because you have Garrett Crochet on the mound tomorrow, and the Red Sox are complacent with Garrett Crochet. They do not score runs for him. And Cora managed this game in a very complacent way. And he has been complacent since the All-Star break. Coming back in Chicago on Friday, Tara Sullivan asked him, like, hey, these next 3 series, they're a big test against these National League division leaders, right? And Cora was so dismissive of that. Like, well, that's for you to determine. That's for you to talk about. I wouldn't hate if you talked about it too. I wouldn't hate if you had some level of urgency. But he's paid. He's good. The thing that gets him the most fired up is when he steals a sign or picks off a pitcher tipping, which is what happened the other night. You may have seen it. It's been tweeted out. I tweeted it out a couple days ago. Cora with Luzardo. Did you see this video, Skaz, of Cora?
Oh, yeah.
4. Change up. Up. It's where they're going. Signals the first base coach, the runner on second, whoever it is. You see he's looking somewhere, kind of in the dugout. He's looking at the pitcher, and all of a sudden starts signaling people, and Gonzalez turns around on one and hits a grand slam, and it's a huge moment in the game, and Cora turned right to Pete Fatsi and had the biggest high five, like, yep, we got him, type of thing. That will still get Alex Cora engaged. He'll still be very engaged about that. You have an opportunity to pick up a pitcher tipping or to steal a sign or to do whatever. They're in on it. Not that signs exist anymore, but work with me on that. Steal something. Pick up a pitcher tipping. That gets them all hot and bothered, as it should, because they're really good at it. But you see what happens when pitchers don't tip. They can't hit. They can't hit because their hitters are not good enough. They do not have impact hitters in the middle of this lineup, and they need it. 617-779-0985. Let's go to Johnny in the car. Hey, Johnny.
Hey, how you doing, boss?
How you doing, Johnny?
I'm doing great. I'm actually not doing great. You know, you want to talk about a team waving the white flag? Look at the Revolution. I mean, you sitting here starting Ivacic game after game after game, and he's crapping the bed every game. Why are we giving guys like Alex Bono a chance to get in net? We're obviously Ivacic is not the guy right now. Just give some other people some chances. Maybe we'll find a rhythm.
All right. Very fired up Revs caller. Said he wanted to talk Red Sox, talking Revs. Hey, you can talk whatever you want. It's the Joe Show. It's a Friday night. How about, is it Banning in Middleton? Banning?
Yeah.
What's up, Banning? How you doing?
What's up, bro? What's up, brother?
How you doing, man?
I was thinking, we're talking about, we need starting pitching. And what about taking a look at Bauer?
Are you
know
serious?
what I mean? Yeah.
Is he in the KBO? Is that where he is now?
He,
I don't know where he is.
He was recently demoted to the minor leagues of the secondary league he's in. So I don't think he's going to be helping the Red Sox anytime soon. He's not only a horrible pitcher, he's also a bad guy. I don't think you want him on your baseball team.
Oh, I know he's a bad guy. He was cleared. He was never convicted of anything.
Yes, because everyone that's never been convicted is innocent, right? That's right. How that works.
Yeah, very strange call. Imagine being passionate about that case so much in the year 2025.
Trevor Bauer sucks, all right? He's a bad guy, and he sucks at pitching.
But imagine being so wrapped up in that thing, which says something about you, by the way. In the end, it says something about you if you were so wrapped up in that thing that you're thinking about it years later. Then calling into a sports talk radio station being like, well, why don't we sign this guy? Oh, you mean the guy who just got demoted in the Korean Baseball League?
Yeah,
that guy? You want that guy? You're so passionate about that guy? That says a lot about Banning in Middleton. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, what it also says is that he doesn't really care about the baseball. He's not actually watching Trevor Bauer. Has any idea how he's actually doing playing baseball? He just likes the story because in his mind, that's Trevor Bauer was blacklisted, which is not true at all. He sucks. That's the truth.
Yeah. Oh, no. Hey, let's tell you what. Why don't we forget all of that, which is impossible to forget with Trevor Bauer, by the way. But why don't we go out there and get the guy who was playing with drones and couldn't help his team win because he's that much of a lunatic. But no, I mean, let's get so passionate. Let's call into Sports Talk Radio in 2025 and be like, how about Trevor Bauer? That guy, I mean, I don't want to tell you how to live your life, but maybe reevaluate the things you actually care about, because that's not one of them. You should not be fired up about that case at all anymore.
No one should be carrying water for Trevor Bauer. Nobody.
All right, reevaluate some things, buddy. Seriously. JP in North Providence, I know you need to reevaluate nothing.
Moose McCarthy, what did you do? Curse Porter there? They should have locked you in the bathroom like Bronx Tale, I guess. 0-9 since then. So, Matt, being it's a Friday and it's a Joe show, I got an important question and a fun question. Important question, Joe me the money. Are there any odds you can give me that we're going to hit our 84 bet? Because I'm sweating and I'm in the car with air conditioning, never mind walking out of Fenway. And the fun question, Matt. I want you to rank color commentators. You got Charlie Davies, Scott Zolak, you got Max, Lou Maloney, and Bob Beers. My personal favorite, Charlie Davies, because he will call out his grandmother on the pitch if there's a bad play. And I don't know how he's getting through this season with those nine losses, not with wins in there. So just a little fun question on a Friday night, Matt.
Yeah, Charlie Davies ripped the hell out of the Revs after the game. That was something, man. I give him a lot of credit. A lot of credit for going after the team, going after his employer like that, because a lot of guys don't do that. Team broadcasts, a lot of guys don't do that. And to answer the question, it's Max. Max, legend. Now, that has to do not only from a listener perspective, but also a coworker perspective, because Skaz and I get to sit here and listen to Max during breaks, watch animal videos, do everything you would possibly imagine that Max would be doing during commercial breaks. The man loves animals eating other animals. It's incredible. One
of the great joys of my life is just listening, being around in any shape, form, any way, being around Cedric Maxwell. He's one of my favorite people ever. And he probably doesn't remember my first name.
No, definitely
He
not.
knows it maybe like 75% of the way through the season for a couple games, but that's why we love him. That's why there is no one like Max. The funniest guy maybe ever.
What a legend. Oh, love that guy. Aiden on Route 1. Aiden.
What's up, McCarthy? So, first ever Revolution game. Brought my family, and my 7-year-old left that game saying, who the heck is Porter? And whoever his boss is should get fired too. Kraft needs to be held responsible for the product that he's putting on the field. Hey, did you know that they're putting grass out there? They got sprinklers out. They got the grass being sprinkled. Where's that for the football team? It's embarrassing. It's an embarrassing ownership. I'm done with the Krafts.
Got grass for the World Cup next year, 2026. He's raising his kid right, though. His kid's 7 years old and wants everybody fired. That was me. I wanted Jimmy Williams fired. Listening to WEEI back in the day, I kept begging my dad to let me call in to Ted Sarandis at night to demand that Jimmy Williams be fired because they were not playing Dante Bichette enough. And now you wonder why I do what I do. You know what, guys? I would rather have a Dante Bichette take on this program tonight than a Trevor Bauer take. I guarantee you Dante Bichette has more to give at this point. Steroided out of his mind, I'm sure. At 60 years old than Trevor Bauer has to give in baseball in 2025.
Without question. Without question.
How many old guys do you think have way more to give than Bauer at this point?
I don't know what it was, but not Trevor Bauer, Prince Fielder was hitting home runs on my TV earlier tonight.
This was great. Like,
what was that?
I think the Brewers were doing some type of home run derby. I assume it was like a charity thing. It was Team Prince Fielder versus Team Ryan Braun. And
give me Prince Fielder. Ryan Braun, another D-bag, that guy.
Yeah, got some issues there for sure. Yeah, no, problem guy. Problem dude. Prince Fielder, just a big old fat ass who went up there and hit tanks. That's what you're looking for. That's a ball player. The Red Sox need a guy like that. Where's the big fat ass in the middle of this lineup who hits tanks? Well, he's out in San Francisco, I guess, but